Hey everyone, I'm James, and this is Covetous Imp Gaming, and this week we're going to be talking about dinner at Castle Ravenloft. Before we get started with that, please do the internet robots a favor, like this video, leave us a comment below about videos you'd like to see in the future, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you're alerted to when we release our future content, and check us out over on Facebook and Patreon. Those links are down below. One other announcement I need to make for this week is that we have teamed up with our friends at the Raven's Nest in Marion, Connecticut to give away a Aviatris Mini, and this is the largest Mini to date. Raffle tickets are $5 a piece, and we will be doing the drawing on July 1st, so time is running out. If you want to pick up this extra large Mini, head into the store, tell them you want a raffle ticket, and they'll get you set up. Now, on to dinner with Strahd. I like to send out an invitation, giving the party about 2 days in-game warning that they'll be going to dinner. And obviously, they have the option to turn down this invitation. But included in the invitation is a writ of safe passage where Strahd promises that no harm will come to the party, and he assumes that the same courtesy will be extended to the residents of Castle Ravenloft, that basically the party will not do anything to injure any residents of the castle. One really big change that I like to make is instead of having the black carriage at a specific location, when it's time for the party to go to dinner, have the black carriage meet them wherever they are in the world. So if they're in Krezk, if they're in Vallaki, if they're at Argynvostholt, the black carriage comes up, and obviously that has repercussions in itself. But it kind of eases up that unnecessary travel time to get to the black carriage's set location, and also gives further RP opportunities later on, kind of explaining why Strahd picked you up to bring you to Castle Ravenloft. When the party arrives in the courtyard of Castle Ravenloft, they'll be greeted by Cyrus Bellevue. He will very humbly greet the party and then tend to the horses of the black carriage. The front door to Castle Ravenloft is wide open and very inviting, allowing the party clear direction of where they're supposed to go next. In the main entry hall, they will be greeted by Rahadin. If the party comes armored, dirty, or not appropriately dressed for such an occasion, Rahadin will chastise the party and send them off with Escher and Gertruda to be bathed and properly dressed for the occasion. Once the party is properly bathed and dressed for the occasion, they will be ushered into the dining hall, where they see Strahd von Zarovich sitting at the head of the table. At his right sits Rahadin, his brother and confidant, and at his left, a place setting and an empty chair left for his long-lost love, Tatiana, in hopes that someday she will return. The next 4 seats at the table are taken by Ludmila and Anastasia on the right, and on the left, Volenta and Escher. And the party can fill in the remaining seats at the table as they see fit. As the party's seated, Strahd stands, welcomes the party, and kind of retells their accomplishments in Barovia up to this point and puts a positive spin on it, almost as if everything they've accomplished has been according to his plan all along. As the hors d'oeuvres come out, Strahd will begin to retell the story of how he conquered the Valley of Barovia, and you can get great story bites for this from the book I, Strahd, the first couple chapters where Strahd is conquering Barovia and kind of driving out that old dictator. It's a great way to really work in this dinner conversation of how he was this conqueror. Before the main course comes out, Strahd will ask each person to stand up and introduce themselves and tell a little bit about their home and why they became an adventurer. Now, the reason for this is twofold. One, it is a great RP encounter to pull your party members in and just give them a little bit to talk about themselves. Curse of Strahd gives your players the ability to build a backstory, but never really act on it because they're sucked out of their homes and dropped off in Barovia. And the second thing that this does is it gives Strahd some insight as to who is corruptible or who is the weakest link in the party, and he will use that to his advantage later on in the evening. The events during the main course are completely up to you. I basically just had my party eat. Before dessert, Strahd will attempt to make a deal with anyone who is in possession of one of the treasures of Barovia and offer them anything to get it from them. Again, focusing on that possible weakest link and offering them anything from his vault or down in the crypts, and just the possibility of taking one of those items and getting that advantage in the final battle. After dessert, Strahd will offer the hospitality of his castle and his servants to the party, allowing them to spend the night in the castle. They can explore anything that they want as long as they do not go into the lower levels. Now, this is where that weakest link really starts to shine. He will remind your weakest link about the protection that Strahd has offered tonight, and he will ask them to take a tour of the castle with him. Now, on this tour, he will not charm them, he will not invade their personal space, nothing, just talk. But he will try to get something that he wants from them, and he will offer them anything in return. The Head of Van Richten is a great one. The Sun Sword is another great option to have that person steal and bring to him. Find Irina and bring her to me. If the party's chosen ally has come into light already and is something that Strahd should be worried about, that is another option of this assassination plot. Can be kill this person and bring me their heart or their head. And fulfilling that their end of the deal, they are free to leave Barovia. They can have any treasure that they like, anything. So the party is free to explore and loot anything that they find. There are a few magic items sprinkled around in Castle Ravenloft that aren't necessarily tied down. This is their opportunity to go and pick those things up so that they don't have to rummage around looking for stuff before the final battle, whenever you get to that point. Other than that, when they wake up in the morning, there is food prepared, and I treat this as a hero's feast. Anytime the party eats in the castle, have it be a hero's feast, and that gives them that, like, you trusted Strahd enough to eat, so here's a reward. And again, it reinforces that I promised you my protection. When the parties finish with their breakfast, they go outside. The black carriage is waiting. They climb in. It takes them wherever they want to go. And at that point, Strahd ambushes the party with vampire spawn and dire wolves. And the reason for that is simply to remind them that his protection is officially complete. So I hope you guys liked this video. Next week, we'll be doing part 2 of this video, which is a wedding at Castle Ravenloft. Once we're done with that video, I will be releasing this video and the wedding videos PDF with all my handouts that I use, the invitations, the menus, everything that I've handed to my players to kind of pull them into the RP of the night. Thanks for watching. We appreciate all the support, and we'll see you next week in Barovia.